One of them insisted he had arrived alone, but the others were certain there had always been 4 of them. This story took place in the mountains of West Virginia, not far from Route 33. There's an old cabin there, rented out for short stays. It looks ordinary, but it has far too many strange reviews attached to it. People who stayed there reported memory lapses. They said mornings felt slightly off. Some even claimed they sensed an extra presence in the house. The owner always responded the same way. The house is fine. Just don't open the door at night. 4 friends decided to spend a weekend there. Ethan, Logan, Mia, and Sarah. They had known each other for years, and they trusted each other completely. The cabin stood on a slope, away from the road. Inside, it was clean, but strangely empty. Minimal furniture, heavy curtains, dim lighting. Mia was the first to notice something. There were no mirrors in the house, not in the bedroom, not in the bathroom. The only reflection came from a glass cabinet door. It stood in the kitchen, slightly crooked and cloudy. The first evening passed without issues. They cooked dinner, laughed, shared old memories. Ethan recorded short videos on his phone. Closer to night, they heard footsteps outside. Slow, heavy, steady, as if someone was circling the cabin. Logan went to the window but saw nothing, only darkness and his own reflection. No one dared to open the door that night. By morning, everything had changed. Logan didn't recognize the others. He spoke calmly, without panic, but asked strange questions: who they were, why he was there. They thought it was a joke, but Logan wasn't smiling. Ethan showed him photos, trips, parties, shared moments. Logan looked at them but didn't recognize himself. By evening, he seemed to improve. He relearned their names, started acting almost normal again. But the next night, it happened again. This time, with Sarah. The second night was worse. The footsteps never stopped. Sometimes they paused right at the door. Sarah sat on the floor whispering. She was talking to herself, but her voice sounded different. She said one phrase they all remembered. "There's more space now." Ethan turned on the camera. He wanted to capture what was happening. Logan suggested checking the reflection. They walked over to the cabinet glass. 4 people stood in front of it, but in the reflection, there were 5. The 5th stood slightly behind them. It moved with a delay, as if it was learning to copy them. Sarah suddenly stood up and turned toward the door. She said, "It's someone's turn." The door handle slowly moved, once, then again. Ethan shouted for no one to open it, but Logan was already walking toward the door. He moved with confidence, too calm. The lights went out for a second, and that was enough. When the lights came back, there were still 4 of them, but Mia was gone. And the strangest part, no one except Ethan noticed immediately. The cabin was found a few days later. Their car was still by the road. Inside, there was no one. Some belongings were left behind. Phones were on the table. The camera was dead. The last recording was recovered. It was examined separately. The footage shows 4 people. They walk, talk, argue. But sometimes, an extra figure appears in frame. It's only visible in reflections, and it never matches the people standing in front of it. The investigation lasted nearly 2 years. The case was never explained. It remains open to this day. One detective later made an unofficial statement. He said the worst part wasn't the disappearance. It was how they behaved in the final footage. They moved in sync, spoke the same way, as if they were repeating each other, and none of them tried to leave. The recording is still kept in archives. It's only shown in rare cases. If you ever find yourself in a house without mirrors, and someone next to you wakes up not recognizing you, would you wait for the next night? Or check the reflection immediately? Subscribe. There are more stories like this that people prefer not to talk about.